So this path of behavioral intelligence that we're on and trying to set the stage for us to be that leader of behavioral intelligence globally has come through many of years of practicing communications, practicing leadership, practicing development opportunities, and through a lot of study and research. So my background, my master's is in communication, and I love communication. I absolutely am passionate about it. But at some point in time while I was studying that, I realized that it wasn't enough, that it did not explain all of the different things that I was seeing. So I started to get into psychology. I started to look into neuroscience. My team started testing all different elements of sociological concepts to try to figure out what gives us the answer. How do we know if our emotions are affecting the outside world or affecting us? How do we know that a marketing message is going to be effective? How do we know, how can we predict these things? And these words kept coming out. How do we explain why this worked, but this strategy did not work? They felt so similar. How can we predict in the future whether or not our message is going to get to the intended audience? Whether they're going to hear that message the right way, whether they're going to adapt to that message. Is it going to influence them? And influence, being a major part of everything that we do, from marketing to talent development, we need to know, how are we best positioning ourselves to be able to have a positive effect on our audiences? A positive effect meaning, how can we empower our audience? How can we influence them to change a behavior? And there comes a key word. We started to look at this and say, I can't see your emotions. Emotional intelligence is understanding that emotions have an effect, self-awareness, social awareness, but I can't see what's going on inside of you. I could ask you, hey, how's it going? And you could give me a look and say, it's going great. I would know that something's wrong, but how would I get there? By observing. By being aware that your body mechanics didn't match up with your verbal message. I can't see your emotion, but your behaviors are the symptoms of your emotions. They're what manifest. They're what give us a clue. So one of the things that we teach in behavioral intelligence is awareness and observation skills, listening skills, dynamic listening, being able to hear what's not being said as much as you can hear the words that are being said. It's being able to look and see not just the physical message that they want you to see, but what is the underlying messages that are the symptoms of their emotions? What are their behaviors? All of us have been in that situation where we've looked at a spouse, a partner, a friend, a colleague, a boss, and gone, what in the hell encouraged you to take on that behavior? Why did you do that? Well, what if we could come up with the answer? And in our process of behavioral intelligence, we seek to explain, we seek to predict, we seek to influence, and really importantly, as part of all of that, we seek to control our own behaviors. We want to be able to posit our own positive behaviors towards an end. Because if you get angry and then I get angry, and then you get angry and I get angry, and then you get angry and I get angrier, that's going to lead to more conflict. Our company's brought in all the time to manage conflict, to mediate it, to understand it, because we have to be able to explain what is causing these conflicts. We have to be able to predict how those conflicts are going to manifest in the future. We have to put in an intervention that's influential, that's going to have an effect of changing the way that the people are going to behave and interact with each other. And we're going to have to teach them how to control their responses. If they're not able to control their responses by simple techniques many times, one of the things we love to say at the beginning of our trainings is when you walk out of here, you will not be the same. You're going to see things differently. The awareness, the observation, you're going to look at the world in a different way. You'll understand something because our team took the time to develop a concept that incorporates social psychology, that incorporates neuroscience, that incorporates communication practices. You're going to walk out with literally 10 years of research and knowledge and application with some unique tools in an hour, in 4 hours, in 8 hours. That's the power of behavioral intelligence, is once you see it, once you learn it, once you get it, you can't unsee it. Once you understand that somebody's body mechanics mean a certain thing, you're going to be watching for it. It's like when you go to buy a new car and you love that car, whatever it is, and then all of a sudden you see it all over the road. We unlock that potential in human beings. And that's one of the major powers of behavioral intelligence. Once you get it, you get it. And it'll change the way you lead, it'll change the way you communicate, and it'll change the way the world operates, because you will have more control. Thank you very much.